Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Test. 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 Okay. Evening, everyone. Hope that you're all well, and as Kel says, that the day has been kind to you. Right. So today, announcements. This Saturday's class is for the Loving Awareness group. We're doing emotional resilience work on Saturday mornings. I actually did my own emotional resilience work at weekends, so I think it's more helpful because we have less of the pressures of the week. Evening, Jackie. And so any other announcements? I've just produced a calendar. I think I put it on one of the Facebook groups. It has to go on all of them, and the Bromley Mindfulness Facebook group and so on. And it's also been emailed out to you. So if you haven't picked it up by email, you'll get it in one of the social media platforms over the course of the next day or two. And it's got all of the training for January in it. Then we've got this coming week, on the Wednesday evening, is the first of the gratitude sessions series, and I won't delay it any further. Other than that, there's nothing really to announce. So today, thrilling topic name, meta-awareness, and for external phenomena. Swallowed a bit of a PhD dictionary for that one. Let me simplify. I have been teaching a bit on meta-awareness recently, so you may have picked some of it up. There's an awareness. So let's say I notice the microphone. I feel the microphone. I see the microphone. So the awareness is aware of the microphone. Intellectually, I'm aware that that's happening. But we're either, it is a bit of a switch in the brain that moves the brain from task positive mode, where we're aware and where we can be aware that we're aware, and when we're not aware. So that our awareness switches on and off during the course of the day, and when the awareness is off, we're in the mind, in the past, in the future, thoughts, imagination, whatever it might happen to be, and that's known as mind wandering. But that time when we are aware, there's a couple of things going on, and it's particularly relevant for meditators because. Just a second. There's an amazing lag on YouTube tonight. It's several minutes. All the time I was talking, and it only just came through. So when we're meditating, a lot of things are happening, although let's say you are very calm, it feels like not much is happening, but you're processing your sensory information, or you're focusing on whatever it is you happen to be focusing on. And then what happens is that choices, I suppose, is the best way to view it. Choices arise in our awareness, and an example of that is which is something I thought about a lot for quite a while, and I still do, and it changed my perception of my reality, actually. So there I am, I'm sitting, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to clear my mind of thought, so on a good meditation day, I might be sitting there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, no thought. Emotions will have ideally have become quite a neutral thing, so I'm kind of aware of the sense of sitting. And at some point, if you don't set a timer, at some point you become aware that the meditation's done. That's it. It's time to get up. Where does that come from? If there's no thoughts and there's emotion is neutral, you recognize at some point that the meditation's over. And I refer to it, I use the word arising quite a lot because I can't personally find a better way to describe what happens. Choices, thoughts, emotions, they tend to arise. It's in the same way that the sun arises in the sky and clouds appear. They arise. And so these choices arise. And one of the choices as well is, and most of you will have experienced this, there's the choice to move your meditation from one meditation to another. So you might be sitting there, and for some reason there's a desire, a drive, an intuitive hint to cause you to refocus your awareness on something else. So you might be noticing the breath in the nostrils, and for some unknown reason you go notice the breath in the belly. There's just a very simple example. And I see that as meta awareness. So what this means is that the organism that is me, including the mind, whatever that is, that I haven't got a clue what the mind is, I haven't got a clue what consciousness is. Don't seem to be happy admitting it, but it's a fact. So there's the mind, and it chooses to move its attention from one part of the breath to another part of the breath, or to look inwards, or to open your eyes and meditate with your eyes open, whatever it might happen to be. So there's a guiding awareness of the awareness. And I think it's useful, which is what I'm going to do today, to notice this. It isn't a matter of, because the choices are intuitive, they're not conscious. It's not meta awareness. If you're thinking, I think instead of doing this, I'll do that. Instead, it's a more pure experience for some reason when the mind chooses to move the attention from one thing to another. And we can have this internally, and it's very common to notice it internally. So for example, the example that I used, the first thing that came to my mind, moving the attention from the breath in the nostrils to the belly, or the belly to the nostrils, or whatever. That's a very common experience, I would say, for most meditators. But then there's outside, there's the external experience. And so we've got a number of different meditations on our external experience, what we can hear, what we can see. Human beings are highly visual, so the big part of the brain, big chunk at the back, is all about vision. And then there's the auditory centers are smaller. The entire body, the sensory feedback from the body is a strip pretty much where the headband of my headphones is, which is called the somatosensory cortex, and it runs down both sides of the brain. But it's not a huge part of the brain, whereas the vision is. And so, of all of our senses, sight is the most useful for a whole lot of reasons, followed by sound, followed by the collection of other sensory experiences. And there are a lot of things that we don't notice, but I do spend a fair amount of time working internally. A lot of really good reasons for that. Right at the top of the list is resilience. The closer we get, and this is the other topic for this month, so that's why I spend a lot of time focusing on things like relaxation, focusing on things like the breath, because the more familiar we get with this part of our systems, the better equipped we are for the sort of adversity that we encounter right now. But then there's the external experience. So I thought what I'd do today is focus on that. So that's what. Here's what I could have said. I could have said, noticing what's happening outside your body when you meditate. That's what meta-awareness is of external phenomena is. So if you just want to get yourselves comfortable, one of the things that will happen is over time the capacity to stay focused on the movement of the present moment grows. This is basically mindfulness. And so even if we're going to meditate on our external sensory experience, I invariably begin without fail by checking in. Checking on my posture, releasing whatever tension there is, and becoming aware of the breath. Ideally, the rising and falling of the belly, because of its frictionlessness. I'll just leave you for a minute or two. Gently sensing the breath, rising and falling, and gently noticing the movement of time. And doing this brings a sense of gentle connection with the body. And gentle connection with the present moment. So there's a couple of ways we can view it as a transition to move our awareness from inner phenomena, such as the breath, to external phenomena. And it's more comfortable to make that transition as calm and gentle and relaxing as we can. So one way is to bring your attention to the space between the eyes. And just notice the space between the eyes. The third eye, as it's known. What happens is that focus on this area doesn't disconnect us entirely from our inner experience, but it's a more open sense of awareness where it's easier to notice external phenomena. And so even without opening the eyes, we can become more aware of something like sound, just by bringing the attention to the space between the eyes. Everybody experiences meditation differently, but this is not uncommon. It's also one of those points that we can focus on where our experience becomes more neutral, calmer. So maintaining an awareness, a gentle awareness, gentle connection, not a deep focused connection, but we're staying connected in that we maintain our awareness of the state of the space between the eyes. And we can notice that sound, whatever sound there is passing through our awareness. So it's as if we're listening to sound from that place, from the place between the eyes. And now we can move very gently into open focus. What open focus is an awareness of the space that's around us. Because wherever we are, we have a map in our head of all of the objects around us. The size of the room, our position in the room, the furniture, the seating, where the window is, where the door is. This is a thing called vestibular awareness. We very rarely bring our attention to it. But one element of vestibular awareness is an awareness of the space. So you can allow your mind to become aware of the space above your head, for example, to your sides, in front of you, behind you. And so if the mind wanders, just return it to the space that's around you, above you, to either side, in front. This is a very neutralizing experience. And then in time, if you half open your eyes, looking down, it's possible in time to just open your eyes and allow the visual elements of your experience to be part of your experience, but when noticing it from the experience of sitting, rather than noticing every element for whatever message it brings. You know, I must tidy up that cupboard, I must do that bit of work that's sitting on it, whatever it happens to me. I like that lampshade, doesn't, in all those messages. And so if you find that the having the eyes open in a familiar environment triggers the mind, the solution is to half close the eyelids. So we're still letting in our experience, but in a very relaxed way. The Buddhist teachers refer to this as resting in open awareness. It's a confirmation that there's no activity necessary in this practice. And it doesn't matter where we are, and it doesn't matter how busy we are and or the people around us or anything like that. So what I suggest is that you explore the environment in which you can meditate in open awareness. You'll be surprised at the places that you find the most beneficial. Just allowing the experience of the visual present moment and its movement through time into your awareness. And then conveniently, with the eyes half open looking downwards, what's known as adopting a downward gaze, allow yourself to become aware of what you can see in your peripheral vision. So we're looking forwards, but if you place the hands to the side of the head, wiggle your fingers, you notice the movement even with the eyes straight in front. So when you put your hands down or move them out to the sides, it's amazing. It's as if the hands are behind the vision and they're still visible if there's movement. And we're looking straight ahead. So there's the eyes half shut, but we're aware of that peripheral vision. It's almost an unfocused awareness. This is called the mirror meditation, among other things. No idea where a mirror comes into it, but it is. And so now maintaining that same downward gaze, now fix your attention on a single point, something, the corner of something, or a reflection or a mark. And if there isn't anything, then it's very common to just place your hands in your lap or on the desk or wherever you happen to be sitting, and you focus on the thumbnail. We're forgetting about the peripheral vision, and we are actually now focusing gently but largely on this single point, whatever it might happen to be, with the eyes half shut. Notice the difference in the quality of the experience from the previous meditation. And so this single pointed meditation, this is trataka, meditating on a visual single point. again, allowing your gaze to soften, and gently return your attention to the space between the eyes. You may choose to keep the eyes half open. You may choose to close them. And with your attention still on the space between the eyes, notice the breath rising and falling. And then just noticing the movement of the belly. Again, checking in with your body, posture, relaxation. Belly rising. Belly falling. And listening to the sound of the bell moving through time. And whenever you're ready, in your very own time, return your attention to your surroundings. So that was a little tour of external phenomena and how to, and notice that, I hadn't planned to do that, by the way. Never plan anything when it comes to teaching, but I did just make a note of it. So there's the breath, the third eye meditation, meditating on sound, meditation of no meditation for sound, open focus, open awareness, the mirror meditation, trataka, single point, the third eye, and back to the breath. So we kind of did this circular, starting from the breath, all of these different ways of perceiving our external experience without doing very much to change from one to another, but they're all different qualities, and then returning back to the breath. So I think, might be worth hanging on to this link. It's a useful training resource because it's got all of this in it. And then the secret becomes trying it in different locations. Cracking busy locations comes all on its own. You just need to be motivated to do these, to meditate on open awareness or on the external phenomena when you're out and about, and then it will come to you like it did to me. I used to meditate in the country, and then the next place was a busy cafe. Okay, so that's it for tonight, everybody. blessings to all of you. And the Loving Awareness group, we're coming together on Saturday morning for the next emotional resilience course. And anybody who's not a member, if you'd like to join us, it's £19 a month. Okay then. And of course I do concessions. So that's it. So have a great evening, relaxing evening, an evening that's kind to you, and we'll catch up shortly. Take care. Good night, Jane. Good night, Andrew. Thanks. Good night, Maxine. Thanks, Kel. Yeah, it's fun, that one, isn't it? It's fun.